Nolan Wells' friends caught lying after new admission timeline exposed. And guess what? I didn't trust they ass in the first place. I really, in my heart, believe that they was handpicking them to come and pacify us, to try to get us to shut up, talking about, look, all of Nolan's friends loved him and they would never do anything. Could you please just let us grieve over Nolan? Where's the RIP shirts? Where's the long live Nolan comment? If everybody loved him so much, it wouldn't let nothing happen to Nolan. But let's react to this video. Remember, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all hype this video up, and let's get into this reaction.
The case of Nolan Wells continues to be filled with unanswered questions, but as more information comes out, it appears the truth is coming to light. This time we are seeing conflicting stories and timelines from the accused. On Sunday, another friend of Wells, Shepard, would for the first time speak about the day in which he would reveal that he was actually the person in the viral video at Horn Island heard yelling. In a new interview with Rolling Stone, Shepard would go on to admit that he wanted to fight someone after they would comment on he and his girlfriend arguing. I told him he needed to mind his own business. From the Rolling Stone article, it reads, Shepard says the exchange became heated and that he and the other man ended up getting into a physical altercation. Shepard's uncle, who had raised him like a father, told Shepard to get out of the water and onto his boat so they could head back home. Shepard complied, but once he got on the boat, he changed his mind and decided he wanted to go back. Shepard's friends had by that point begun defending him on shore. Around this time, another adult on a nearby boat started filming the video. My exact wording is, "Get me off this effing boat. I wanted to fight, and I feel like I hadn't had my fair share." Now, what makes Shepard's new admission interesting is that it looks to have exposed lies and inconsistencies with Nolan's friends, whom he traveled to the island with, saying that they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. that day. If you can recall, the video that captured the aftermath of Shepard's confrontation would end up being captured at 4:01 p.m. And in this interview with Rolling Stone, Shepard would confirm that Nolan was actually in the water out of view on camera at that time, as well as noted in this new interview that he was around Nolan and friends at 3:30 p.m., meaning Nolan was still very much near everyone else, despite his friends reporting to police that they last saw him at 3 p.m.
Okay, to keep y'all up to speed, Shepard got into an argument with somebody who tried to check him for arguing with his own girl. Typical people, that's how they do. They don't know how to mind their damn business. And this was around 4 p.m., which contradicts Nolan's white friends from saying the last time they seen Nolan was around 3 p.m. So they was lying, y'all.
Now, from this Rolling Stone interview, Shepard's admission goes on to reveal, Shepard says the man in the video, who people think is Wells, is too short to be his 6'2" friend. He says Wells is not shown in the video at all, that he was just out of frame hanging out in the water. Now, according to official reports and a statement made by one of the young man's stepmother, who happens to also be a judge, Ashley Cole, would state her stepson and friends would leave the island around 4:30 p.m. due to issues with their boat. In her statement, she would say, Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, what's interesting about this statement is that a leaked direct message from Warren's biological mother several days before to a Facebook user looks to contradict this statement by his stepmother. To note, Warren's biological mom's message would take place before Nolan's body was found, in which it was only thought he was only a missing person, making it appear for some that this new changing of times and separating them to last seeing Nolan at 3 p.m. is part of a cover-up. Warren's actual mother would go on to write, I am Warren's mother, the woman you have been talking about on Facebook and posting pictures of our family. I'm here to tell you that we all love Nolan and we are deeply distraught. Your information is not correct, and I ask you to please stop posting about Warren and our family. My son did not ride out with him, nor did he come back with them. The boat that Nolan was supposed to get on, Wyatt's boat. He repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave, but Nolan wanted to stay with the girl and their boat was parked next to his. He was insistent about staying with this girl. White asked him several times to please get on the boat, and the people heard him. My son loves him and would never in 1,000,000 years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat. Nolan has been to our house several times, and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay, and Wyatt's boat started to fill with water. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. Now, as shown, Nolan is documented due to his friend's new interview with Rolling Stone to being near everyone at 3:30 p.m. and again at 4 p.m. when the altercation happened, and not 3 p.m. as stated by Warren's stepmom, as well as a leaked message from Warren's actual mom that now places Nolan speaking with his friends about leaving around 4:35 p.m. Again, not 3 p.m. It is under these conditions that speculation has grown and leaves the question of what happened. Now, according to a Facebook post that was made at the top of Nolan's disappearance, the young lady whom he was talking to's sister allegedly looked to have filled in more of what took place. According to her post, as Nolan's friends pressured him with ending his conversation with her sister so he can ride back with them. Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and her sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. We have given all the answers we can give to his mom and authorities. Now,
do y'all see every little lie they come out with? It don't line up from what they previously said. And this is what's going to bite them in the butt, because they were so in a rush to tell everybody they ain't have nothing to do with it. Now when they want to come out and try to protect their name, it contradicts what they previously said. But my question is, why y'all lawyer up so fast? Why you cleaning a boat? Why did you hold Nolan's phone for so long? Whatever you try to use ChatGPT to get you out of this little thing that you in, it's not going to work, because everything is pointing to you having something to do with it.
Now, with this series of information and reports, some are now feeling that Nolan may have been swimming to get on the boat and his friends would leave him in the water, thus being an explanation for some on why his friends are now separating when they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. and when they left, instead of it all happening at once as first indicated by Warren's mother, to hide that they knew Nolan was in the water to get back on the boat. Now, if this isn't the case and only speculation, then according to these statements and new interview, Nolan's friends would not see him for close to 2 hours, despite him still being documented with being on Horn Island shore with Shepard and others at 3:30 p.m. and later at 4 p.m., right after Shepard's confrontation. A part of that theory, one of the biggest questions that come up is, why was the Coast Guard contacted at 11 p.m. by his friends? Leaving some to speculate that they knew Nolan was in the water when they last saw him, because for some following the case, it makes no sense that his friends would conclude Nolan was in serious danger and is in possible need of search and rescue, when according to them was last seen safely talking to a girl. To note, Nolan's father would state that he remembers seeing people camping on the island overnight when he searched for Nolan the following morning, meaning there was never a moment when the island was empty, meaning Nolan could have used another person's phone on the island if he was stuck. So what did his friends suspect about Nolan that night that would make them think of calling the Coast Guard? According to outlet WLOX, the first time the Coast Guard would be contacted about Nolan was on July 4th at 11 p.m., but it was later determined that it did not need their assistance. The Coast Guard told WLOX on Thursday, July 9th, that a friend of Wells contacted agency around 11 p.m., the night of July 4th. The Coast Guard would not disclose any information about the call to WLOX, but said it did not require Coast Guard assistance. A part of this, some are asking, what did Nolan's friends know, since Nolan had no way of contacting them after allegedly leaving his phone on the boat? Now, following this first reported from the Coast Guard, they would eventually get involved the next day at 12:26 p.m. after being contacted by local police. The statement confirming this taking place would for some align with the theory that his friends knew he was in the water. As it reads, they were requested to search in the vicinity of Horn Island and not on Horn Island. At 12:26 p.m., Coast Guard Sector Mobile received a request for assistance from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in search of a missing person in the vicinity of Horn Island. Sector watchstanders issued an urgent marine information broadcast and diverted a Coast Guard helicopter to search the area. Currently, as of this report, questions remain, like how did they know Nolan never made it back to land if they last saw him just talking to a girl? And again, why would the Coast Guard be a thought to call? As of now, many continue to speculate, especially after a new photo would go viral over the weekend and later debunked by Shepard of Nolan allegedly attending a pool party that night. According to another interview with ABC News, Shepard would go on to say that the pool party happened on June 27th, and this would also be verified by metadata according to Rolling Stone. Now, the same story would spread on Facebook and other parts of social media when a user would allege that Nolan was beat up at this party and later dropped back off on the island. The person would even claim to have spoken to Nolan's mother, in which Nolan's mother now looks to have expressed that the person spreading this story is not a close friend of his as they claim, nor did they ever speak to her. As of this report, people following the story continue to wait to the now 2 autopsies conducted to better confirm what may have happened to Nolan that day. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Now that we're seeing inconsistencies on the timeline given by the accused, does it raise more?
I'ma tell y'all like this. I don't trust none of them little boys out there. I need to hear from them little white boys that was around him. And as far as everybody trying to take away our little leads, listen, I'ma tell you like this. Any new information come out, we reacting to it. We need every lead we could get. So yes, we're going to keep everything alleged. But if it's any pictures, if it's any videos, we're going to examine it and we're going to look at it for ourselves, just like everybody else on the internet. But do y'all see how people slowly starting to come out because all those pictures is starting to irritate them? And I'm honestly thinking at this point, these people are trying to use ChatGPT to line up times to make it benefit them and their narrative. But trust me, there's going to be more than Shepard to come out. There are people that are in their house ready and contemplating whether they should come out with the truth, with the video, with the message every day that passes. Hell, I believe Nolan's spirit is haunting them in their dreams. But make sure y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all hype this video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.